Hey guys, Mr. MJ Fan 101 Alt here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Left 4 Dead 2. First off, as usual, graphics and audio. So as usual, the graphics are good, but they have a different style and feel this time compared to Left 4 Dead. The animations also don't seem as good this time around. I don't really know why. But also, Left 4 Dead 2, it kind of seems like it looks more cartoony, whereas Left 4 Dead 1 looks more gritty, and I don't really know how to explain it, that's just what it seems like. And talking about the animations, you also hold the guns differently in Left 4 Dead 2 compared to 1. Again, why? I don't know, it doesn't really make much sense. But, whatever. I kind of liked the look of Left 4 Dead 1 better. But if you think about it, or the feel of it better. But if you think about it, Left 4 Dead 2's graphics really are better. And the audio is good as well, and it's pretty much the same as Left 4 Dead 1's. Okay, so now the gameplay. The gameplay in Left 4 Dead 2 is actually different than in Left 4 Dead 1. For one, there are some new special infected in Left 4 Dead 2. The spitter, which spits acid at you, and if you stand in it, you take damage. The charger, which will charge at you and pound you to the ground with its huge arm, which deals a lot of damage. And the jockey, which is basically a head crab from Half-Life that moves you around. They also added uncommon, common infected. An example of an uncommon, common infected is the infected in the level Dead Center that wear fire-resistant suits, so they can run through fire without catching fire. However, they are still common infected, just with a special ability. And there are also different uncommon, common infected on every campaign, but I won't go over them all. Other things that change up the gameplay is that they added new guns, throwables, and other bonus items like an adrenaline shot and a defibrillator. These all change it up. And not to mention melee weapons, which do tons of damage, but can be dangerous to use because they are melee, and you have to get up close to damage infected. And on top of that, there are different events in the campaign. For example, new ways to complete finales, like having to fill a car with gas, and new events before the finale, like a cemetery maze, and an area that is filled with witches and just has a ton of witches. This all adds something new to the gameplay, and still keeps it fun and new. Along with the ones from Left 4 Dead 1, there is new game modes in Left 4 Dead 2. And one of them is Realism, which removes glows around the players, and it also removes glows around items unless you are basically right next to them and facing them. It also does things like making the witch one-hit kill players, and normally if you die in a level, after a while you could show up in a closet or some random room and be revived, but in Realism, that's gone. The only way you can be revived is with a defibrillator, or by completing the level, you will respawn in the safe room. The only thing I think is missing from Realism is no HUD, or a no HUD option. Because there should at least be an option to remove HUD. And if there is, when I played Left 4 Dead 2, there wasn't. But if there is, please let me know, because as far as I know, there's still no option to remove HUD. And to make it, to make the Realism mode complete, there should be at least an option to do that. Anyways, Realism doesn't have to be a harder than expert mode. You can play it on all difficulties, easy, normal, advanced, expert. And if you like a really good challenge, then Realism is for you. There's also Realism Versus, which is self-explanatory. Another new mode is Scavenger Mode. Now, Scavenger Mode is similar to Versus, where you play as survivors and infected, except that in Scavenger Mode, the objectives as a survivor is to find gas cans around the map and take them to an area where you can pour the gas into a gas tank. The goal of the mode is to get as many and hopefully all gas cans poured into the tank, and the goal, as the infected, is to obviously stop the survivors from getting any or many gas cans into the tank. Overall, I like Scavenger Mode because it is almost like survival with an objective that isn't to, just sit there and survive. And I also like it because it encourages different kinds of team play and different strategies. You might want to branch up into, groups of 2 or something like that in Scavenger Mode, depending on your level. Especially on the Dead Center level, you might want to do that. Now, one last thing I want to talk about before the final verdict is Left 4 Dead 2's characters. This topic has been discussed a lot, but I just want to say that I agree with everyone that says Left 4 Dead 2's characters are not as good as the characters in the first game, because it's true. Rochelle is a dumb character, and never liked her, and Nick is okay, I guess. The only likable characters are Ellis, but it's really only just because he's goofy, and sometimes Coach. So that is one thing I dislike about Left 4 Dead 2. It is not like Left 4 Dead 1 where I didn't have a problem with playing any character. Sure, I had my favorite character in Left 4 Dead 1. You know, everybody does, but I still liked them all. In Left 4 Dead 2, it is not the same. Well, it is time to bring this review down to the final verdict. I give Left 4 Dead 2 a 9.25. Slightly better than the first game, but both are still great games. And my next review will be of the Passing DLC. And I know this didn't end up being Left 4 Dead Weekend. That was because of some family issues, complications, some bad things happened. And I couldn't do it. So I guess the Passing review will wrap up Left 4 Dead early week reviews, whatever you want to call it.